let me ask you a question. How many of you have beat your meat to AI generated porn? Now you might be thinking, Richie, what the fuck did you just ask me? All right, and really, let me paint you a picture. All right, it's 11 at night. I'm trying to go to bed, right? But before I go to bed, I want to crank my hog. So I type in the infamous Pornhub.com. All right, and something horrendous comes across me. All right, there's no rank to jerk, mate. All right, there's no gay porn. No. What I see is create your own AI fuck toy. All right, or some AI generated porn video. All right. I want you to realize there is about 20 people around the clock working in a data center to generate your AI slut slop. Okay, this is saddening. All right, you heard about like how AI is poisoning the water and shit? Yeah, no, it's because there's a shit ton of water going through the cooling systems. All right, and then it's getting dumped into the middle of fucking nowhere. All that so you can beat your meat to AI. All right, now you might be thinking, right? Isn't it just a fad? Isn't it something that's just gonna pass? And honestly, that's a tricky question to answer because when you think about it, on one hand, you have all of the people that have invested in this AI. So, like, think of like the .com bubble, right? Everybody was investing in like hella tech, right? Around 2008, that bubble popped. The AI bubble is probably going to be the same. So, like, for a while, everything is going to be jacked up. Like, I can't buy a stick of RAM anymore without dropping an arm and a leg, right? It's basically like a down payment on a house, all right? I'm financing my damn computer parts over here. I'm too broke for all this, all right? Like, a couple months ago, right, I was building a computer, and I had to get some sticks of RAM. I got two 16 gig sticks of DDR5 for like $70. That goes for like a band and a half, all right? That's like 900% increase if I had to just guess off the top of my dome. Um, you should be concerned, all right? You should be genuinely frightened by that. And I'm gonna paint a little picture for you about how like the way AI generated content works. Let's say I put my hand in front of the screen, right? It does not understand that this is a hand. What it is, if I told it to generate a photo of a hand based on my hand, it'd generate the same
Go
angle
Gooby.
every time. But if I fed it like about a million photos of someone's hands,
Go
it wouldn't
Gooby.
understand what a hand is. It would just understand how the pixels are arranged on the screen and the color values in which pertains to that. Like on my webcam right now, right? If I told it to analyze the photo, it would tell me what's on it, not based on like, oh, that's the shape of a chair. No, that color value is about 365 blue, 230 green, and 1 red. And based on the configuration of how those items are arranged, I'm looking at about 3 metric tons of cock and balls. No! What? If I slightly tweak the values of each and every individual pixel, it's going to look the same to us. But AI is going to have an absolute shit and giggle fest, alright? AI is going to be like, I think I'm looking at otherworldly concepts beyond my comprehension, and it's going to like shit 17 bricks and die. Okay? And this vexes me because most people they use AI all the time, even if they don't want to, and then they don't understand how it works. Like, okay, I'm gonna put my dick inside of a woman, but I'm not gonna understand how that concept works. I'm not gonna understand how she has periods. And now we're looking at like 1800s like ass logic. I think a woman has a period because that's the sin leaving their body, and women are unholy creatures, and men. I actually really like men. That's what you sound like, okay? At least in my eyes. Alright, now, to be fair, my eyes are kind of horribly perverted beyond a sense of right and wrong, and I walk this earth as an imperfect man, so I have no room to judge. And also, at the same time, fuck you. I don't care. Moving on, right? I prefer natural pornography made by man. You see where I'm coming with this? You see where I'm going with this? All right. Now, on the topic of AI art, because pornography is art, but let's move away from all of the jacking off, because I could do that all I wanted to, right? But moving away from that, right? It's like importing slaves, kind of. All right. I mean, yeah, it helps, but like you're also undermining the fact that like you're not stimulating the economy necessarily by having slaves. Don't quote me on this. I'm not an economic expert. I'm actually kind of stupid, but if you have a bunch of slaves, they aren't getting paid and they aren't spending that money on other things, so they aren't stimulating the economy, right? They're just kind of imported work. And I think AI should be viewed the same way, right? AI is essentially a digital slave that we have created to like make more money, but also it's a very expensive, very resource intensive and electricity intensive slave. So like, it's a little odd. So we may get to a point where like in the future where AI is outlawed for certain uses because I don't know, like AI creativity isn't a real thing. AI is simply replicating human nature, the same way that humans have replicated nature in itself. For example, right? We didn't make an airplane because we had the idea. We made an airplane because we saw a bird in the sky and like, what if I flapped my wings like that? And then we made a giant metal bird in the sky. All right. I don't know where we go. Like we got skyscrapers from trees, okay? We're like, I could build that shit. That tree, I could do better. And then we kind of did, but like that's besides the point. The point is, it is a sloppy imitation of organic art. And another good example of this is like, let's say for example, all of like you ever see your teacher and they're like, okay guys, no AI on this paper, and they're like, but I don't want to write 1,000 words on why STIs are really bad for you, right? Now, believe it or not, I actually am against having your papers generated, and here's why, right? Let's say I'm a professional, right? Let's put on the nerd glasses for this. Let's say I'm a professional, guys, right? I'm typing out a research paper, and instead of typing it, I get the genius idea. Let's have AI do it. All right. So I published this paper with AI and put it on the internet, right? Well, here's the thing with AI. AI uses actual facts about 90 to 95% of the time. The 5 to 10% of the time, it like fabricates shit just straight out of thin air. And it's a pretty low amount of the time, but here's what happens, right? I have a source online written by AI. It's 95% true, right? Now, let's say AI is pooling all of its information from the internet, which it is, right? At some point, it's going to pool that AI-generated piece of information from the internet, right? So it's going to go from being 100% true, from 95% true, because you're AI generating it, from 95% true to 92% true, and then 92% true to like 87% true, and then it's gonna drop dramatically, like dramatically. So it's basically like digital inbreeding. Like it's basically like making a bunch of AI femboy fuckbots and then having them impregnate each other over and over and over again until they're inbred little fucks. That is basically AI. AI is your inbred cousin. They're fun to use for like little small things, but you can't really trust them with that much importance, or they're gonna fuck their cousin and they're gonna have more inbred little bots running around. Anyway, tune back in next week to hear about how many times I can jack my penis. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time when I give a fuck.